Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's synastry is between Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson. Recently she came out and she said that their relationship was not a publicity stunt. So I'm going to go over everything and I'm going to tell you exactly what I found. The first thing I noticed is that they have a double Valentine Sun conjunction. So this means his Valentine conjuncts her sun and her Valentine conjuncts his sun. This is a mutual devotional sweetness, and it's rare. You don't see this very often. So there's this feeling of a faded affection, and they mirror each other's love ideal. This energy, it's not subtle, especially with a double conjunction. It's visible, and other people can see this energy and they can sense the glow when these two are near each other, which is very romantic and it's sweet. Now, her Venus and Fantasia, an angel, conjuncts his south node. This creates an instant soul level sort of pull, and he feels like he's met her before because this is very strong indications of a past life connection because her Venus is also conjuncting his south node. So this is highly indicative of them being lovers in a past life. So he feels safe with her, and there's a spiritual and otherworldly energy about it, and it's wrapped in the magic of Fantasia, which has to do with fantasy. And also her angel asteroid is conjuncting his south node, and that has to do with, it's a heaven sent dynamic. It feels like a best friend energy, angelic, spiritual. Her point of fortune conjuncts his Eros and Psyche, and the point of fortune acts like a golden spotlight, illuminating and expanding everything that it touches, and it's like a mini Jupiter. So it's conjuncting his Eros and Psyche, and Eros has to do with raw passion and eroticism and desire, and Psyche has to do with, there's this soulful sort of energy and a yearning for deep connection. So when her point of fortune conjuncts both of them, she magnifies his erotic fire, his erotic desire, and his soulful vulnerability. So he feels seen and aroused and safe all at once with this conjunction. Now I'm going to be turning the page, and I'm going to be going over the opposite side of this relationship, or rather the flip side of the coin, because every relationship is not perfect. There's no such thing as having all of these lovey-dovey aspects without any kind of contention or challenges within the relationship. So this is the shadow twist in the love story. Her Nessus conjuncts his Venus. This is a huge red flag. Nessus has to do with abuse. So when her Nessus is in the 12th house, conjuncting his Venus, she's going to bring a sort of gaslighting energy to him. And it's going to be like a subconscious sort of, it's going to be a subconscious sort of deliverance. Like she may not even know that it's happening because it's in the 12th house and it's in the sign of Gemini that's ruled by Mercury. So there's going to be a clever phrasing or talking about, she could be saying, you're remembering this wrong. And she's stating it as a fact. To further validate this, her Mercury is squaring his Pluto. So this can manifest as conversations that feel controlling or manipulative, and there's psychological pressure involved here, or mental games. Now, also with Nessus, when I see that asteroid showing up in a chart, I automatically know that Dejanira is going to play a very strong role in the synastry chart, because Nessus and Dejanira, they're tag teams. If you want to know more about red flags in a synastry, you can watch my video on that. And there's a comment In the comments section, one of my viewers talks about how she had Nessus and Dejanira in her synastry chart. So it's worth watching. So in this chart, his Dejanira and karma conjuncts her descendant. This is really important because the descendant is a really, it's an important angle in a synastry chart. It's on the cusp of the 7th house that rules committed relationships. So we've got Dejanira and karma here. One of them will end up being the victim in this relationship because Dejanira has to do with victimhood, and with her Nessus conjuncting his Venus, this seals it with a karmic contract. You're looking at a synastry here that swings from this erotic, soulful, sacred bonding to karmic confrontation with dark undercurrents. So this is not going to end up like a Hallmark movie. It may seem that way now, but you always see all of the honeymoon stuff and the positive aspects in the beginning of the relationship. Now, his destin conjuncts her North Node and Grimm. Destin, threads of fate, life events that feel scripted or written. And in this chart, everything is written. But it plays a definitive role here, or energy, because karma is also shows up strongly in this synastry chart as well. So with his destin conjuncting her North Node and Grimm, this triple conjunction, it means his destiny is a way that feels storybook or gothic fairy tale, and there's a deep, compelling sense that their paths had to cross because of destin. But Grimm here, it can also bring in this haunted quality, like there's dark turns in this fairy tale romance, because his Jupiter is also conjuncting her Grimm. Now, his Saturn is conjuncting her destin. More destiny and karma here. Fate and destiny gets anchored and stops being a dream because it becomes a karmic connection due to Saturn. Saturn teaches lessons, so it's really not for the faint of heart. And Saturn can be harsh and restrictive, but in this case, it's a karmic contract with the destiny between the two of them. And it's written right into eventually where the relationship is going to go because of the North Node. And speaking of the North Node, her nemesis, Ampholis, conjuncts his North Node and Juno. The North Node will end up showing the theme of the relationship here for him. And also it has to do with Nemesis and Pholus. So Nemesis has to do with a secret betrayal, behind the scenes, betrayal and sneakiness. And with Pholus conjuncting his North Node and his Juno, this is a warning label, because while the connection can be passionate and magnetic, it also carries this potential for the betrayal, like I said, and nemesis, and also sudden explosions. That's Pholus. So we have secret betrayals or sneakiness, behind the scenes explosions. And what does it have to do with? Well, it's conjuncting his Juno. So it's all centered around themes of relationship, commitment, and loyalty. Because Juno, that's the energies that Juno represents. And Pholus is going to be the trigger that blows open how he views commitment or destiny, or how she, or rather, when she activates his deepest desire to commit, or forces him to reckon with what commitment really means to him in this relationship. So it can work a couple of different ways here. Also, his Pluto conjuncts her IC, and his Pluto also conjuncts her Venus. Here are the shadows associated with control and power, because Pluto is not polite. It digs in, and it's going to storm into her inner sanctuary, because the IC represents your foundation, and it's on the cusp of the house that rules the home and the family. So Pluto here is going to be trampling right through her inner sanctuary, shifting the furniture, shifting all of the furniture around. It's kind of like he's trying to reshape her. And this is not just attraction, it's invasion. It could result in possession and transformation because of Pluto. But since Pluto is conjuncting her Venus here, it's primal, it's passion, and Venus has to do with love. So there's this very strong primal energy, and it has to do with the powerful, it's like a moth to a flame. That's the best way I could describe it. They do have a great chemistry, and like I said, that has to do with the Valentine Sun conjunction. So if she does let him stay and they get more involved, I think she risks losing the walls that kept her safe due to Pluto trampling right in there, right at the bottom of the chart, right into her inner world. So maybe that's the point of this destined relationship, with the karmic contracts that are sewn right in. And it might end up in heartbreak for her because his Sedna conjuncts her moon. And this signals emotional betrayal. It's like a dynamic where trust can be broken, maybe tied to his past losses, but the connection isn't going to be a very smooth sailing in the emotional department, because the moon is very sensitive in a synastry chart. And his connection with her, it can bring heartbreak. So now they don't have any moon aspects between the two of them. I don't have his birth time, and the only way that they could have any kind of a moon connection between the two of them is if he was born really like between 11 at night and midnight. So the probability of that are obviously 1 in 24, but without moon aspects, positive ones, it's really important in a synastry chart to have that, because the moon is the emotional heartbeat. So even with the most dazzling Sun-Venus conjunctions, I mean, that can be thrilling, but it doesn't guarantee lasting harmony. And with Nessus involved here, and Dejanira and Nemesis, it's going to turn into a situation where they're going to think, how did we get involved like this, and why did it turn into something that we never saw it coming? I mean, everyone doesn't see the negative parts of a relationship coming ahead of time, but with a synastry chart, you can. So on that note, if you need a synastry chart done, or a natal chart or transit chart done, I'm available, and all the information is in my description box. So that's all I have today with these two. And please share, like, and subscribe to support my channel, and I will be back shortly with other synastry charts. Have a nice day.